In case you haven't been paying attention, it's a tense time in our country. And many of us struggle with talking about politics and COVID with family and friends who have opposing views. So, here with some tips on how to keep the peace is psychologist. If only you had a prescription pad, but I know you don't. And author, Dr. Eileen Kennedy-Moore. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Very important.
Can't wait to hear.
Yes.
How does one keep the peace with a family that has differing opinions and views in these tough times?
Well, honestly, a lot of families are going to be working very hard not to talk about politics right now. And it makes sense to focus on the things that bring us together, our experiences, our interests, the people that we care about.
So many of us, though, can't be together because of the pandemic that we are facing and still facing, and the endless seeming pandemic. So it's hard to not get into talking about that and talking about politics when that's sort of at the forefront of why we're so separated.
About. Sure. And we can definitely have the option of diffusing whatever comes up. So if someone brings up a topic and you just don't want to go there, you say, or you say, you feel very strongly about that, which means nothing, and then you change the subject. In some cases, you might want to deliberately declare a truce and say, let's just enjoy each other's company instead of going towards politics.
I always find that talking about fondue can diffuse the situation,
that
right?
Is true. I mean,
if anybody needs a fallback category, fondue is
conflict. Food is
exactly.
the great...
What about those who read a conspiracy theory or see a rumor and believe it and are really hardcore about pitching it as truth? What do you do in that situation?
That is really hard, and it depends on your relationship with that person. If you don't know them that well, just step away, because you're very unlikely to persuade them. If it's somebody that you love or are close to, you might want to try to have that conversation. But remember, a frontal attack is not going to go anywhere. You might want to try asking questions around the edges. So you could ask something like, well, usually, unfortunately, there is a usually about this, when we see situations where many children are getting hurt, what happens? We have victim statements all over every media. We see the FBI rushing in and confiscating whatever they confiscate. And the lawyers sharpen their pencil, and we have all these lawsuits. So why isn't that happening now? Or how is it that you, my relative, a regular person, knows about this big criminal conspiracy, but the people whose job it is to fight international crime and keep children safe, they don't?
We'd like to invite you to our holiday meals.
Yes,
on Skype,
actually,
if that would be great.
Actually, that would be a great side business for you to be the...
Let's talk about COVID after the break. Stay with us, Dr. Eileen.
See, we were just saying this shows you how smart we are, because look at where we're seated in the smart people chairs.
We're closer to the earth.
Correct. COVID safety measures are politicized. As we were talking before, Dr. Eileen Kennedy-Moore is here to help us handle differing precaution opinions. Some people refuse to wear masks. What do we do if it's the holidays and we are planning on seeing some family members that refuse to wear masks?
So we need to have a lot of conversations and a lot of compassion for different people. If you are the one who's on the more cautious side, then you might need to ask directly for what you need. Could we all get tested beforehand? Would everybody be willing to wear masks? Can we meet outdoors? Can the cook wear a mask and make individual servings? There are a lot of things that we can do to try to be safer. And if you really can't go there, then use I statements and say, I'm so disappointed I won't be with you, but I really can't risk it. And I'd love to pop in by Zoom. Right. And if you're on the less cautious side, try to ask, what can I do to make you feel more comfortable? And view this, if you're willing to do it, not as being criticized or controlled, but as something you're doing with an open heart to take care of that person. And if they can't come, try not to see it as a rejection, but as they're trying to manage a hard situation.
And we've just got a few seconds left, so quickly, how do you cope with COVID fatigue? What do you suggest?
We are all exhausted and grieving. We're grieving from all the things that we've lost, the people we've lost, the people we can't see. But we need to remember, why are we doing this? And the answer is to care for our communities. And truthfully, the basics are not that hard. Wearing a mask, keeping it above our nose, washing our hands, staying 6 feet apart. We can all do this, and it makes a difference. But we also need to have a lot of compassion for the other people, and rather than blame for the people who are more or less cautious than we are. We're doing our best. Assume that they're doing our best. We can also look for the small pleasures. We can't change the big things, but there are a lot of little enjoyments. I just bought new pillows for my husband and me. They cost $10.
Do
right?
you
But
like
they're
beef
perfect.
or cheese or chocolate fondue? What do you like? Dr. Eileen's free ebook, Growing Friendships During the Coronavirus Pandemic, is available now at online bookstores. Thank you so much for your insights.
My
Great to see
pleasure.
you.
Thank you very much.